about that.
That's like the only thing I lied about all season.
Oh my god, no, because I cannot wait till we get to a certain challenge that can only be done because
Oh
I knew
my
Arceus
God.
was in Canada and not
You're
Australia.
so sick for that. You're so.
Arceus,
Oh my god, when I found that out, because I've been waiting 4 seasons to bring that challenge back. All right, let's get started. So this season we had a 20-person cast. It was a blood versus water with 2 tribes of 10. The season's theme was Gravity Falls, and we did it with the Pines tribe and the Cypher tribe. We had 2 sort of idol hunts this season, with the idol hunt, which was the tour around Gravity Falls, where you were supposed to grab pages of the 3 journals, and the Mystery Shack gift shop. Turns out we marked it a little low, or a little low for the Mystery Shack gift shop, because holy shit, that thing crashed fast. Alrighty, let's start off with our first challenge, wavelength. What we did was we did a double tribal where the blood versus water pairs competed together. Best pair was the one that, how do I describe this? I don't know, tribe wavelength. Basically the best pair was the one that did the best on the challenge, which was the one that thought the same way. There we go. In this one, Cameron and Sarah were actually the ones who won immunity. And we had a double tribal where Jack was voted out in one of them, and then Haley was voted out in the other. I don't remember which tribe was which. Hold on.
I think we voted out Jack, because I never...
Alrighty, do you want to describe that tribal then?
I played Mentorks with Haley, which is how I know, and I met her there for the first time, which is just how I know. But I think Jack was a pretty unanimous vote, if I remember right. Which I might not.
No, you're right. She even self-voted, which I was very annoyed about.
Oh, okay.
She self-voted.
I was telling Anna and I think maybe Preston in the Idol Hunt server to keep an eye out on her, and I think they would have if she just put in any effort at all, and she didn't.
Oh my god! Wait, so here's a little. Before we continue, here's a little fun fact. Actually, this season entire concept happened because of a talk I had with Arceus.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah. I'm like, I want you to play. What will it take to get you to play?
I said Gravity Falls season.
Gravity Falls season, and then he goes, I want to also get my sister into orgs. I'm like, what if we made it a blood versus water because of the twins?
Yeah, I think you brought up the blood versus water idea first. I was like, that's such a great idea because I watched this show with my sister. This was like our thing. I can get her to play. It's such a great idea. Yeah, I'm in. Whenever it happens, I'm in.
And yeah, that's how this happened.
I feel like Arceus might have told me this, but I'm not sure. This sounds familiar.
I definitely did tell. I think probably you and Sarah.
Yeah,
this is news for me. I love it though. I was so excited when I saw Gravity Falls. I love Gravity Falls. So
it's probably top 2 of my favorite Western animated shows of all time. So
it's an amazing show.
I think it's this and Avatar for me that are my top 2.
I mean, I didn't think Disney had it in them to have a show like where they. Yeah, I didn't think it was possible.
Oh my god. So now that we've done the Jack tribal, which is pretty short, what about the Haley tribal? Arceus, care to take over on that one?
Oh, from what I remember, there was a fair amount of debate. I know some people. I think Roan was on the pro keep Haley side, and because I think it was between Haley and Caitlyn, if I remember correctly. Let me head into the doc because they were both fairly inactive, but with different groups of people. And at the end, it ended up being obviously we decided on Haley to be the first boot, and then not to jump ahead, but Caitlyn was kind of the compromise next time around, because the people that wanted to keep Haley, they obviously gave her up that first round, and then it was kind of our turn to give up Caitlyn that next round.
We lost two legends back to back. Tragic.
I can like shed some light, but like I don't know if I need to like if you want that much detail, but so basically at this tribal, like this is a tribal where like David, Harrison, and Will and I, we used to like we were talking in VC, we made an alliance. Then I think that's actually where it stemmed from. I think Arceus wanted to keep Caitlyn. Thomas kind of was leaning towards keeping Haley, I think. I'm not sure. Ben definitely wanted Haley to stay. I wanted Haley to stay. Then David, Harrison, Will, and I, our alliance, we just used the bot. And because we were arguing. And then David and me in particular, David wanted Haley to go. So the bot chose Haley. So I think that's kind of how it went towards Haley, but I'm not really sure.
Cool.
Yep.
All right, so yeah, those two ended up becoming our first boots of the season. And now let's move on to our second round, the bottomless pit. So this was a hero challenge where we picked one person from each tribe who had to create a story, and we had two people judge it. And I forget who the judges were. I have to go look again. Let me go see.
I have no idea. I don't know.
You don't know either?
We don't care about the judges.
Well, no, because the reason why I want to bring up the judges is because of how low they scored you guys.
Okay, fair enough.
Rude.
No, because you guys got flamed. I remember.
Oh my god! Sorry, if you hear my cat being crazy in the background, I don't know what is wrong with her right now.
Sorry, my friend's blowing up my phone. I'm supposed to go visit him tomorrow. I'm supposed to go visit him tomorrow, and he's like, "Can we leave it around 2?" I'm like, "I'm getting in at noon. What do you mean?"
Yeah, we don't even have judges channels or anything there, so I have no idea, Ross. I think we just move.
You think we just move? All right. Well, I know you guys didn't do very well from this challenge whatsoever. Oh my god, he's still fucking DMing me. I'm about to mute. Hold on. I'll mute him after this is done. Alright. So yeah. Second challenge. Everyone fails. I put that in the notes. Everyone fails. I think that the Cypher tribe was saved by a 5 out of 10. So,
is that my tribe? Is that? I don't remember.
I think that's your tribe, right?
That was your tribe.
Yeah.
No, we're
no, you guys were the Pine.
we were Pines.
Oh no, we were Pines.
Yeah. So you guys were the ones who went to tribal, so that's even better.
Yeah.
All right, well, yeah. So Pines tribe goes to tribal, and would you guys care to regale us with the thrilling details?
Roan, you want to take this one first?
Oh, is this? I think this is the
Caitlin's boot. Yeah.
Yeah. I think this is my understanding is this was a straightforward vote, and that we agreed Caitlyn would go and Caitlyn went. That's my understanding of it. But I think Thomas was pushing for Caitlyn, and I was okay with it. And I think many people were also. That's my understanding.
Yeah, and I think after Haley went, and they were pushing on Caitlyn, I felt like I had to give something, even though at this point myself, Sarah, and Caitlyn were in an alliance, and I really wanted the three of us. We wanted Ben to go just because he was really inactive, and that's what spurred my vote, which was that meme when you're in an inactive competition, but your opponent is Caitlyn with Ben's face on it. Yeah.
Yeah,
and that vote was a good kick in the ass for Ben because he started talking to me after that. But yeah.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, I think really. Yeah, it was pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
And yet another legend gone here.
Great.
All right, let's move on to the third round then. Rock, paper, scissors. So this was a clear sweep for the Pines. Almost. Actually, I can't say it was a clear sweep because Anna did get the 1 point for Cypher. So yeah, Cypher goes to tribal. Jem, would you care to recount us the story of how Emperor got voted out here?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember this challenge. Sorry, I think there was a strategy on the other team. I forget. Anyway, yeah, Emperor got voted out. I think it was almost another easy vote. I'm trying to remember if I can even find it. But yeah, I think it was just another one where we were all pretty like agreed on Emperor being voted out. I don't think anyone had to like fight too hard, if I remember. I might be completely wrong.
So I remember one thing from this. Like I remember like talking about what Jem said, like some strategy. Like apparently there was some strategy related to rock paper scissors, where like there was some fuckery. I think Arceus was maybe part of it.
Yeah, can I jump in? Yeah, because
Yeah, go ahead.
Explain your all strategy.
So, well, it's not our tribe that had the strategy. It was your tribe that decided to go all papers, I think it was. And we knew about the strategy because Preston told me about it. So this is the round where I got the idol, and Preston got the idol because I told him about it. So when Preston and I are talking in our rock paper scissors channel, Preston tells me about your guys' strategy. I relay it to my tribe, and we beat your strategy. But the reason that Emperor, not that Emperor went, but the reason why I shared the idol stuff with Preston is because he said, yeah, if we go to tribal, it'll be a really easy Emperor boot. And I was like, that's perfect, because part of the idol is that you lose your vote. So this will conceal it for you. It'll be hidden. But, Preston's got a big mouth. He didn't hide it from anybody. But yeah, that was basically it. Preston and I talked in that channel, got the idols, got Emperor out, shared the strategy with my tribe so we could avoid tribal council. And that was the start of me and Preston, and the start of the downfall of the SS Preston, I guess.
Yes, it's so good.
I was like very confused when you said it. Like I think you said it in the tribe chat. Like all of you do paper or whatever. I was like, and yeah, I was like very confused, and then it made sense.
And then we did it though. Like,
no. So so this is the round where you found the idol, right?
Yes.
All right, now I get to tell my absolute favorite thing ever. The way we did this idol is probably my favorite way we've given out an idol in any season.
This was a great hunt, by the way. I love this hunt.
Oh my god, I had a blast putting this together. I was in the middle of a online class sitting at my dad's desk in the basement of my house putting this thing together and just having a ball. It was great. The way we ended it, though, is probably the best thing ever. We had Bill Cipher himself come out and make a deal.
Mm-hmm.
And then we handed you condoms.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Oh my god. I worded it specifically saying, so you're looking for some protection, are you? And I gave them condoms.
Yeah, and I kept trying to goad Ross. I know what you're doing. Like, you're not saying idle. I need you to say idle before we make this deal. He just kept not doing it. I was like, all right, fuck it. Give me whatever it
is. Is now the time I tell you I came up with that on the fly?
I believe you. I believe you. I think if it was anyone else,
I was having that conversation with you, and the thought just popped in my head. Wait a minute. Yeah. I have the opportunity to do something hilarious.
Ross, I think that was I feel like that was Adelaide who did that, because I think we were all on a VC and Adelaide was like, send them condoms.
Was Adelaide the one who did that? I swear I thought I did that. I feel like I did that. Whatever. Doesn't matter. Anyways, so yeah. This is my favorite idol hunt of any season we've done, I think. Just from how much fun I had putting this together to that ending is just fantastic. All right. Let's move on to the fourth challenge, entanglement, or as Peanut likes to say, his least favorite challenge. Yeah, entanglement happens. Anyone want to recount the thrilling details of entanglement?
No.
So yeah, I just want to say like, oh, we're just talking about the challenge, are we? Right now. If we're just talking about the challenge, I like the challenge. That's all I have to say.
You like entanglement?
Yeah, I like entanglement.
I think you're the only person I've seen say that so far. All right. So, all right. Here comes the fun part.
Your
So,
favorite player.
Cypher wins immunity, and sends Pines to Tribal. Now, Tribal doesn't happen. Jem's laughing. She knows why.
I know exactly why.
So, Jem, I think we told you this, how you're the only reason that we cast David.
Yeah, because we really wanted you. We really like your app.
We had two options. It was you guys, and then this guy we also know who's kind of similar to David, but on like a lesser scale, Patrick and his partner. And we kind of we fucking love Jem. If she applied with literally anyone else, it's an auto cast.
Okay, so I have a funny story that I think will be funny for this. So I played my second game ever was with David on the cast, and we met on a starting tribe together. And of course, more drama. He gets booted from the game. More drama. No surprise to anyone. And I needed a partner. I needed a partner so badly, and he'd voted me out of Pat.org in we were down to a final 4 because they thought it would be really funny to not swap before the merge. So our tribe was just getting smaller and smaller down to 4 players, and me and David were 2 of them, and everyone turned on me and kept this one guy who also turned out to be drama. Not the point. And David felt so bad about it that he was like, Jem, let's stay friends. Let's stay friends after this. I actually feel bad. You would have been so much more fun to keep. I'm like, I know. But so I needed a partner. All my friends were like, I'm busy. I'm sorry. I don't feel like playing a game right now. And I was like, hey, David, do you want to play a game together? I'm so sorry.
So I've known David for ages. He actually played the first org I ever played. I didn't get to see him in that org though because he was voted out well before I was.
Humble brag.
What was that?
Humble brag.
Humble brag. I mean, I didn't make it that far in that season. Point is, David was a character constantly calling certain women in the game slurs. There was one specific incident that led to this this happening. So yeah, David gets kicked from the game because he called Sarah a sore. I don't want to say the word on here, but yeah.
So I just want to add, I understand why he got kicked out. That's valid. Me personally, when he was in Pines, we actually were very, very close. So me personally, I have never had a problem with him, but I definitely did not get to see that side of him that you mentioned.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It wasn't even the saying the not very nice things to the girls was one thing. Then he kind of doubled down on it too. When we
Oh my god! When we said calm down, stop doing it, he kind of doubled down on it and just kind of was defending it and oh my god, the hosts are all against me, and I'm just like, shut the fuck up.
So yeah, that was what made it worse was
yeah
the doubling down.
Yeah, sorry. I thought for the longest time David was just doing a bit. I didn't know he was actually doing other shit to piss people off.
He's a character. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, that's fair.
He's
He,
interesting. Yeah.
The thing about David is he actually like he'll say to me like, I feel so bad, like I want to play with you, but then he does this shit. So I'm like, okay, I don't know what you want me to say to that. I adore him, but he's too much. He can be too much, and the only reason we're friends is because he actually lets me tell him, like, no, like, I hate that you do this shit, and we get to stay friends anyway. So it's a working friendship.
It works, and that's all that matters.
It works.
Yeah,
but yeah, no, he does do very valid shit to get him kicked out of games.
Yeah, it was definitely very valid.
Yeah, I agree with what Jem said, basically.
Yeah,
and we've had
sure
in this org's history, but like, once you get it like so much, it gets to a point where you just are tired of it and you just want to nip it in the bud before it gets any worse. That's I think what kind of happened here.
Too, because like people had to like come to us expressing the fact that they were like, kind of like hurt and like upset by the things he was saying, and so then I was like, maybe like I should try saying something like as another woman to kind of like, because I know like if someone had said like the things he said to me, I'd also probably be, and like I'm not somebody who's like super sensitive, and like I generally can take an insult in an org, and like I've had some pretty nasty shit said to me. But I was like, no, I think if someone who like I didn't really know that well called me that, like I'd also be pretty upset, like I'd also be pretty offended. So like I tried to like talk to him a bit. He still was doubling down. And I was like, okay, yeah, I think that this is just we're talking to a brick wall here a little bit. Like, I don't think this is going anywhere.
Yeah.
So
all right, let's move on. We are now swapping into three tribes of 5. The Stanley, Stanford, and Shermie tribes, named after the three brothers. I was gonna say 3 Stans, but then Shermie exists by name. We literally never see him. So yeah, what do you guys remember about the swap?
I was not a fan of the tiny tribes. Gave me anxiety.
Fair enough.
I think
Yeah, like I think nothing really happened in my tribes. We didn't go to tribal, I think. So, yeah.
I was pretty happy with my tribe, so I swapped over with Will and Sarah. And at this point, I think Sarah was either my number 1 or my number 2, and I felt pretty decent-ish about Will because we had that big alliance on Pines. But we also had Anna and Katie on that tribe, and I had played with Anna before, and I know how she is. I spoke to her a bit before in the Idol server, and I immediately threw Preston under the bus to her for telling us their strategy, which she was pissed about, and that caused her to tell me about Preston's Idol and extra vote. And that's when I was in one of those 6 little places in the Idol server. I was there with Preston, and I told Preston, hey, just a heads up, you can't lose this challenge because the people from your old tribe, they're not actually with you, they're with Anna, and they're going to try and get your extra vote, you and your extra vote out of the game. So there was, even though we didn't go to tribal on that tribe, there was still a fair bit of inter-tribe dynamics between me and Anna going on there.
Interesting. Okay. So the challenge is Puzzle Chicken. Stanley and Shermie win immunity, and Stanford goes to tribal, and Ben gets voted out. I don't know. Was anyone here on that tribe? I forget.
I think I was.
Do you have anything you'd like to say about that tribal?
Any recollection of that tribal? Was that the Puzzle Chicken round?
Yes.
Okay, Puzzle Chicken. He was barely present. I think he only did it, like, I think of the rotation, he only was doing his part maybe 3 times. He was busy that day. Like, he admitted he was busy that day, but I was like, dude, I need whatever I can get. to stay in a out of 5 people, and none of them are my partner, and my partner's actually out of the game. Amazing. And I don't think anyone was a super close ally of mine on that tiny tribe. So I was hanging on to prayers, I think, and then I think that was like the one opening I had to argue, like, well, what about Ben's barely being here? I think that was sort of how that sort of went from at least my perspective.
Interesting. Also, you said how your partner was ejected from the game. I'll tell you this, you aren't alone in that. I did play Blood versus Water with my brother, and he got ejected for inactivity.
Amazing.
Arceus was in that game.
Shout out Agron.
2 very different
So
reasons
true.
for getting ejected out of the game. One didn't speak enough, and one spoke a little too much.
Shout out Agron. Season 2 merge boot
Season
Season 2 merge boot and categoric flop.
And so we move.
And so we move. Yep. All right. Oh boy, I think this is one of my favorite twists we did this season. Trust no one. We asked for trust rankings, and what's at the top or bottom? I forget. It was one of the two.
Top.
It was the top. Okay.
Yeah.
'Cause I couldn't find in the tree mail when I was doing the notes. So yeah, it was the top of each tribe won immunity. So let's hear. It was Bendog, Cameron, and Arceus who won immunity. Now this is when you guys all went to a complete joint tribal with all 14 of you. And this was the moment
Fuck
where
you for that, by the way.
Oh, it gets better. This is the moment where Preston called me one night and is like, yeah, so I just got invited on a cruise with Reed. And I had been trying to get Preston to play Randomvivor for ages at this point. And even then I was like, dude, it's a fucking cruise. Like, I'm gonna be real. I would take the cruise over the org at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Go on the
Yeah,
cruise,
it's very
have
valid.
fun. Go on the cruise, have fun, do your thing. So yeah, I know that there was like a plan to like get rid of Anna during this at one point. Obviously that died out when Preston didn't exactly quit, but asked to be voted out. Not before giving away his idol and extra vote, I think, were both to Bendog. Yep. Okay. Yeah, he gave away both to Bendog and then asked to get idled out, and that was it. Bye Preston, who, from what I could tell at this point, was probably on path to become either Fallen Angel or winner of the season. Like,
Oh yeah.
he was all over the place. He was like playing a great game up to that point.
Yeah, that round was frustrating as someone who was like working with Preston before the merge. So what happened as soon as we got to that 14-person tribe, Anna made an alliance, which was the Shermie tribe, which I think that's the tribe that I was on, if I'm not mistaken. So myself, Anna, Sarah, Will, and Katie, plus what's her name? Karina and was it just Karina or did she add someone else? I don't know, but that alliance was made without her telling any of us, and I basically offed that alliance to try and talk Preston out of idling Anna the whole round. And while we're talking, Preston's like, "Oh, by the way, I think I told a few people about your idol," and I was like, "Oh, who?" And it wasn't really clear who he said, and I thought he told Cameron about my idol. So then I went out and I told Cameron, assuming he already knew about my idol, because Preston told me about his legacy advantage. But Cameron didn't know about my idol, so I basically told Cameron, the motherfucker that hates me, that I have an idol again. And that was a whole shit. The whole round was a shit show. And yeah, I think Anna lost a lot of trust in me that round. Thomas lost a lot of trust in me that round. But before Preston left, he introduced me to Gem and Bendog, and I was so down for that SS Preston alliance.
Yep, I see it. The SS Preston.
As a fellow person who'd been counting on Preston, like exactly by that round, Preston was probably the one person I think I'd been the most honest with. Like, I actually remember we had just had a VC talking like, and I think he was the first person I VC'd with in the whole game. And so, like, we were like synced up, good to go. And then he's like, peace out, I have a cruise.
Peace out. My rich friend invited me on a cruise.
Like, kill me. What am I going to do now?
I think when
he
he
was like,
got
okay.
voted out. Oh, sorry.
No, you're fine. He was like, okay, you can trust Bendog and Arceus. And I was like, can I? Because I trust you. I don't know. I heard this from Adam, dude. Like, what the fuck are you on about? But I turned out great. Like, it worked out. But I was so not defensive. I was so cautious for like a good few rounds because I was like, I don't know how to trust Preston's word right when he dips out on a cruise. It was just funny.
So I remember, so this was Preston's, I think, third org he played. And up to this point, he had won both orgs he played. So we had like this joke where if he made it to FTC but lost, I was going to still like snuff his torch. No, so he was like very adamant that I still got to snuff his torch even though he was leaving the game. And I think I literally said, Reed has spoken, which was his friend that invited him on the cruise. Oh, it was so great. Shout out Preston.
Yeah, Preston was great. There's no denying that. I was like reading about this tribal, and I think like Arceus. I'm just gonna say Arceus. Like Arceus said, there's like a big alliance, and I think this is the point in the game where I think I started figuring out Arceus and Preston's positioning because of my partner, of course, Bendog. Bendog, shout out to Bendog because that's kind of when I figured out like they had idols and there's this extra vote and blah 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 blah. And I think he told me my name was thrown out at one point by Will in that big alliance. And I think Arceus and Thomas eventually told me about the alliance too. And then I think Thomas was pushing for Conrad in the alliance. And I think Conrad was supposed to go if Preston was around, but Preston didn't want Conrad to go anyways.
Yeah, Preston was going to idle Conrad. And
Yeah.
He really wanted Anna out.
Yeah, and he also told me the same thing that he told Jem, except he told me to trust Arceus, Bendog, and Jem while he was leaving. We had a conversation as well because we got along towards the end. Yeah.
That's good. Alrighty. So yeah, Preston's gone on his cruise. The SS Preston has left the port.
What?
All right, let's go on into the first challenge of the merge. The tribe name was Dippy Fresh, named after the great gag from near end of Gravity Falls.
Was it that we couldn't come up with anything better, if I remember right?
God, it wouldn't shock me. I mean, I didn't hate this one. It wasn't terrible. And we kind of already took most of the really good ones you can come up with for Gravity Falls anyway. I mean, I guess you could have done like Dipper or Mabel or something, but like... So the challenge was an auction. Now, I did not do the information needed to figure out who got what in this auction.
I remember I got two things. I lost my vote and I got jack shit, which sucked.
I got my first and only idol that I've ever gotten playing orcs in this auction. And I only told Bendog about it, which was not supposed to leak, but of course it did. And I told Katie I think it was a safety without power that I told her I got, because of course she wanted to know. Nobody else asked me, but Bendog was like my number one at that point, so I told him what I actually got. And yeah, Katie like pressured me, like, "What'd you get?" And I was like, because I think she told me what she got, which I forget, but I came up with a lie.
I think was it maybe like a vote randomizer thing? Is it hers or?
That might have been it. Who got? Were the steel votes there, or was that from the mystery shack?
No idea.
I would have to go look at the document. It's been too long. Let me go see.
And then Sarah got a force safety without power, I think it was, because I used that on Gem later on.
Yes, I do remember that. Yes. Here we go. Season 5, Mystery Shack gift shop.
Fuck those shirts.
Wait.
Oh yeah, the shirts.
Wait, what is this? It says Randomvivor Season 5, Gravity Falls, Mystery Shack gift shop. It's blank.
Well,
that's not helpful at all.
You know, because someone used it on Will that round, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
Do we not have it? What the heck? Maybe.
Oh yeah, I think it might be Katie as well. I'm not sure. She might have gotten two things, or I'm not sure.
If I could only find it, let's see. Okay, well, can't find it. Oh well. The shirts were great. That was Adelaide's idea, and I regret nothing. So.
I imagine you don't, but I regret everything about those shirts.
It's one of my favorite bits we've done. It's so good. Darn it, should have gotten the Panther shirt. Darn it, should have gotten the Puma shirt.
I think me and Cameron tried to put them together. Like, maybe that will do something.
You did. I remember that. And we just said, nope, still shirts.
They're just shirts.
Nope, just shirts. Yeah, so I can't. Yeah, I guess we don't have a document for that. Oh well. So yeah, that happened. Auction happened. Anna gets voted out. Anyone want to recap that tribal?
I can if no.
Take it away.
Take it away.
That was the first of multiple tribals for me that would just have names going out at like all hours of the day, and the only time the decision would be made would be in like the literal final hour. And I think it was when Bendog approached me in literally like the last hour or so before tribal and was like, "What about Anna?" And I didn't know anything about Preston wanting Anna out for a while. I don't think I got clued in on that. So I'm just hearing Anna's name for like the first time, and I'm like, yes, chaos. Because she'd been talking to me all tribal, like, and so I was like, oh, is she working with me? Does she trust me? Like, what is this? But then hearing Bendog say her name, I was like, oh, okay, I could go with that. And I forget how it ended up happening, but it was, I think there were wasn't there an idol play?
Yeah, I can talk more about the idol, but yeah.
Okay. But yeah, there ended up only being like 3 votes for her or something. And me and Bendog were 2 of them, I think.
4, because Bendog used the extra vote.
Oh, okay. I'll let you take it.
Yeah, no, so I think you know a bit more about that, about how Anna became the vote there. Because I was on a date with my partner at the time. And at that point, I had known that Anna and Thomas lost a lot of trust with me because Will was saying a lot of stuff. And then I spoke to Will, and we had kind of cleared things up. I was like, oh, I didn't know you talked to Preston. Why didn't you just tell me you talked to Kristen? We could have avoided this whole thing. But by that time, I think when we woke up, Will had been the vote that's been thrown out by Anna and Thomas and their crew, and he was trying to save himself. And honestly, I was fine with Will going, but Anna and Katie like refusing to tell me Will was the vote really rubbed me the wrong way. And like I said, I was going out on a date, so I was like, okay, I have the idol. Preston had given me his idol, and I gave it to Ben Dog. I was like, hey, I don't know what's happening. I trust you. Here's the idol. I don't want Anna gone. I want to keep her around. I think she's a big player, like a good shield. But you use the idol however you see fit. And I had kind of known that he wanted to idol out Anna. But at the time, I still thought he was going to let Will go home. And at the time of Tribal Council, I was kind of messing around with Will a bit. I was like, oh, I'm going to play my idol for you. And then it basically ended up being an alley-oop for Ben Dog to play his idol for Will and idol out Anna, which, I was opposed to. But kind of worked out in the end. It made it another, 5 rounds or so. But yeah.
So, yeah, I can fill in some missing pieces as well. So, I think basically a majority alliance was made and Will was thrown out. And I think what Arceus said, I think Ben Dog told me in VC about this, that he got an idol. And then I think the Anna vote started from our conversation. I was talking to Ben Dog, and Ben Dog mentioned that he wanted to do Anna. We were going back and forth about who should go, and I agreed with what he said. He wanted to do Anna, and I was fine with it. And I think, based on what I have, I think he told Jem and he told Cameron, and I think Cameron might have told Sarah. And I think Sarah might have... I don't think Sarah voted the right way on purpose, and I didn't vote the right way on purpose. And Jem and Ben Dog and the extra vote, and Cameron. I think, those are the 4 votes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably, I think, what happened.
And then Anna, on her way out, was like, good luck ever getting my vote, Ben Dog and Arceus. And I was like, I didn't even vote, bro. I was actively trying to save you. Leave me alone.
Hell.
And that would become a very common thing for people to diss Arceus on their way out.
I leaned into it, to be fair.
Oh my god. There's a reason you're our villain this season.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Fun.
That's true.
Okay. Next up. Oh boy, here we go. The challenge I waited 4 seasons to bring back, and we finally had the time zones available to do it. So happy. Welcome back to the night shift. This challenge is only possible because Arceus told me that he was in Canada and not Australia. So.
I was unbelievably upset. I'm like, you're doing everything in your power to out that I'm not in Australia.
That's so funny. To be fair, I didn't think you were gonna lie about it when I planned the season, so that's part of the deal.
It was spur of the moment thing, just because I just did not want to talk to people while I was spending time with my family and friends and partner.
Makes sense.
So
I mean, so night shift happens. Harrison wins immunity. After 11 and a half hours, destroying the previous best time, I believe, of 10 hours.
Yeah, this also went on for a long time in my season.
Yeah. So, that happens. Harrison wins. Hold on. Harrison wins, and Karina gets voted out. Anyone care to recap that tribal?
From what I have, it seems like no one really minded her going besides Katie, because they were close. But that's all I have.
I was pretty happy about that tribal because Karina and I barely talked. I think Karina, out of all of the females that got voted out before the sausage party, Karina was the one that never talked to me. or like barely bothered from my recollection. So I really wasn't too upset to see her go. I felt like that was probably going to be more like having a blind spot like that. I was worried about it from what I remember.
Yeah, I was thrilled. During the night shift challenge, I was needling Karina a fair bit because she had literally we hadn't exchanged a single DM at that point. So I was just making fun of that. And then it was only after the challenge where she finally messaged me, and I was like, "Why would you ruin this great thing we had going on? Like, I love not talking to you so much." So our interaction was minimal but not pleasant for her. And at that point, I decided I'm going to piss off as many early jurors as possible. Because I just want people to think, okay, Arceus, sure, he's this character and whatever, but I can beat him at the end because he has really poor jury management. So that was my thinking going into it. But yeah, that round, love that round because again, Karina just did not talk.
Alrighty, so Karina's out, and now we go to the third challenge of the merge, Chrono Photo. Now, this was a challenge from category actually that I adored. I got really into it. I was playing it with a friend in school actually during our coding class. It was great. Chrono Photo, basically, you get like a photo and you have to determine what year it is. I think it's from like 1900 to modern day. So yeah, in Chrono Photo, Roan wins immunity.
Yay, Ron!
I just want to say, like, I think Arceus was second, and I was just happy he did not win.
Well, next up on our chopping block, we have Sarah, who wishes to recap that.
Oh, can I recap this? Because this was like this was really upsetting for me because at this point in the season, I was like, I want Sarah to win. We were number one. I like love and adore Sarah like to this day, and I had given her my idol before Tribal because I thought I was gone. At this point, I think the SS Preston kind of devolved a little bit with Ben Dog and Jem choosing Thomas and Katie just to kind of side with that, and Conrad a bit more. And yeah, I thought, okay, I think I'm gone here, which like I didn't really mind because I was really busy in Canada doing a lot of stuff. June was a really rough month, so I gave my idol to Sarah. I was like, I hope you use it, hope you win. And then I see Sarah's name comes up, and she sends me back my idol and her force swap advantage, which was really funny because Cameron had asked her for them as she was being voted out, and she'd already given them to me, which I think was hilarious that she gave them to me over her own partner. But yeah, I remember like a lot of talking this round. I think the vote switched a couple of times before it landed on Sarah. And yeah, again, another woman that I did not want to be voted out. I want that on the record.
Yeah, save your own
Putting the allegations to rest.
Yeah.
Putting the allegations to rest. You did not like the sausage party. Got it.
I can't remember why I voted Sarah that round. I'd love to say I remember. I think it was another one where our relationship just wasn't very tight, and I was just trying to eliminate blind spots, but also go along with whatever Ben Dog was down for. So I think it was just a combination of that.
So I think basically what happened is like Katie was making alliances here and there with two different sides, and she wanted Cameron gone at one point. Then she wanted someone else gone. I'm not sure who. Then I think there was an alliance. I'm not sure who all were in it, but I was not in it. And they wanted to go after Arceus, I think, but then they were worried about an idol play, so they changed to Sarah at last minute.
That was the alliance of Jem, Ben Dog, Conrad, Thomas, Katie, if I remember.
Yeah, correct. I think that sounds about right. And then it changed to like Thomas told me about that that it got changed to Sarah like last minute before the votes were read, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna vote wrong. It's whatever. I didn't want Sarah gone either. I think I don't remember, but yeah.
Okay.
I think I actually was reaching out to Sarah, like trying to DM her more that round to be, because I think I thought she was gonna be fine. And then I think that was another one where in like the final fucking hour before tribal, this I will be ranting about this anytime Randomvivor comes up for me. I hated how it was always a last fucking minute vote. Like I was like, I should have just not bothered to listen until the last hour. So many rounds. But yeah, no, I think that was another one where I started talking to her because I thought she would be fine actually. And then they're like, yeah, let's just vote Sarah. Because I think Cameron was not an option people wanted at that point. The legacy advantage, I think, was still in the way. So that was how it ended up being Sarah instead, I think.
So yeah, Sarah's gone. Now we go on to the fourth challenge, Gravity Falls Trivia. So I don't think this is like what we normally do for trivia, where we like have a link to like some kind of video, and then we kind of base off that. I think we just straight up did Gravity Falls Trivia this time. So yeah, that happens. Cameron wins immunity. And Katie is voted out. Anyone want to recap that tribal?
Yeah, I'll just start it off because as soon as Sarah gave me her advantage, I think I had created an alliance with the people left out of that vote, which was myself, Cameron, Roan, Will, and Harrison. And basically, as soon as tribal opened, or even before tribal opened, like Ross asked production, hey, if I use this force swap on someone, they go out. They don't get the chance to send their advantage to somebody, right? Because I think at this point, Jem still had a steal a vote or some sort of advantage. And you said, yeah, it'll be used as soon as you use it. And I was like, perfect. I'm going to pre-play this. The second tribal opens up, I want Jem out of here. So that's what happened. Jem got out, wasn't able to send her thing to Katie. And the five of us voted for Katie. I wanted Katie gone because again, she made it very clear she was never going to work with me, and I had no interest in working with her. And I wanted Thomas freed up as an option for myself, and I knew Thomas was never going to work with me as long as Katie was in the way. So that was my sort of logic or reasoning for that round.
Gotcha.
So like, oh yeah, you can go ahead.
So this was the round that I was supposed to give Katie some assistance, but I didn't have any because I had an idol and I wasn't going to use it on Katie. So I had to just let that go, if I remember right. Yeah. Because I couldn't actually save her.
Well, yeah, you were swapped at that point. You kind of had no choice. You were
that too.
What kind of has been coined as safety without consent. So yeah, I forget what we called that one. That was like the man in the. That was the cheapskate. That's right. It was the cheapskate from the gift shop.
Yeah.
From the gift shop of Fours episode.
Yep.
That's what it was called. I remember that.
So basically, my understanding is Arceus basically made like an alliance with people who were blindsided. Then there was like another alliance with people who were not blindsided, and I wasn't technically blindsided because I already knew about the vote. So Thomas and I, we just started telling each other what was said in the other alliance. So we just exchanged information. He told me what was happening there. I told him what was happening here, and I think Arceus might have Will or I don't know who said that they want to go after Bendog, and I just agreed with it. But I just told Bendog right after, and then Bendog, I don't know who started pushing for Katie.
I think it might have been Cameron that wanted to go after Bendog because he was harboring a hatred for him for a while.
That might be it. Then I'm not sure who started the Katie vote, but I know many people were on board. Like it happened really quick.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really know who started it, but yeah. my version.
I think, didn't Katie also throw back in a prior round? I think Will threw me under the bus after we had a conversation where I said I didn't talk to Karina much, and that got to Katie, and Katie was like, "Hey, are you going after Karina?" And I was like, "Who the heck told you that?" And she said Will did it, and so I went to Will and was like, "What the fuck was that?" I so I think there had probably been a bit of ill will maybe for a couple rounds also.
I think, if I can remember correctly, I think it was Will and Harrison who spearheaded the Katie vote, but I might be wrong on that. I might be misremembering.
Which is really funny because Harrison was supposed to be Katie's partner. Here's your fun fact of the day. Katie came to us without a partner, and we were like, I guess we could try to find you one. Harrison was on our hosting team until the season because, quite frankly, for 2-3 seasons, he hadn't done anything. And we're just kind of like, yo, you want to play? We have this person who still needs a partner. He's like, fuck it. Sure, I'm not going to be very active, but fuck it. So that's how Harrison played. So yeah, they did not know each other before this game. So yeah, Katie is out. Now we move on to the love letters. Woo! So this is the second to last round before Sausage Fest takes over.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Sausage Fest had already taken over at this point. It's like a.
Jem
Yeah.
was already the last line defense at this point.
I was hanging on for dear life.
Which is why Jem in this round won immunity.
We cheer.
Bless Jem.
That was a great immunity to win because I, unlike I guess everybody else, did not chat GPT my love letters.
Honestly, funny as fuck. I've seen so many different ways for that challenge to go. I've seen someone just use dumb commercial quotes. Like someone sent me with this challenge, if your loved one has mesothelioma, you may be entitled to compensation. I got that once. I could not stop laughing. It was so good. So yeah, that challenge happens, and something we neglected to mention, there was an item I do believe in the gift shop that played into a twist in a later round.
Yes.
We took this from another org that, funny enough, Emma and I actually met in this org, Hollowed Orgs. We took it from our season of Hollowed Orgs where someone got immunity at a certain round and they were safe during a live tribal.
Yes.
Cameron was the one who got this advantage pretty early in and held on to it for a while. Did not keep the secret whatsoever. That shit spread like wildfire.
Yeah, Cameron was always being voted out this round. I wasn't letting him get to 8 so he can have immunity and then go to 7. I think I started this round super early. I had a long BC with Thomas after Katie was voted out. And I basically I want to say I spearheaded the Cameron vote just because I told everyone about this advantage. We can't let him get to 8, and then we had that alliance, myself, Roan, Will, and Harrison, and I filled Thomas in. Okay, right after this tribal, we're gonna go straight into another tribal. I don't know who Cameron's gonna give his legacy advantage to, but I think we take out Jem because Thomas will go for Jem. She's an under the radar threat, and I think everyone kind of agreed. But yeah, Cameron was never making it past final 9.
Yeah, that makes sense. So yeah, Cameron goes here, and I don't remember why this happened, but I know he did give it. He gave it to Harrison.
Yeah, which is super inconsequential. So
super duper inconsequential. Yeah. So yeah, this round happens, and now we start our Age of Sausage Fest. Jem gets voted out here. Would you care to recount this round that unfortunately led to your demise?
A little bit, yeah. I mean, I took my immunity from the prior round and like ran with it. I barely paid attention to Cameron's tribal. I was just like, Cameron vote, sure. Um, right into a live tribal, which I was not prepared for. I was just vibing through it. I think I like literally like if I could claim putting a game on autopilot, I was literally on autopilot. Like I was like, yeah, I'm down to do whatever anybody wants. Like use my vote. Like I'm just here. I'm having fun. I love Gravity Falls. The twists have been like 11 out of 10. So like I was legitimately not caring about being voted out. I was just having fun, which is like that's a wild survivor. But yeah, I was just having fun, and so the live tribal. I mean, yeah, I didn't see it coming. The only feedback I've really gotten outside of it was that Will said it was a pre-planned thing before the tribal to use a code to like say that this was going to be the round Gem gets voted. But I otherwise had no idea that that was going to happen, or I obviously would have played my idol. I do want to say something about Thomas. The VC that happened towards the end of this tribal on the revote, where Thomas was like, Gem, like, your game's too good. It's the game I'm playing. Like, I've gotta flip my vote, essentially. I was like, okay, but you just lost. I was hard debating between Bendog and Thomas for the idol. And that was like Thomas's move that could have gotten him an idol and didn't. If he'd stuck with his vote, I genuinely would have like flipped a fucking coin between him and Bendog because I was the closest to them at that point for me personally. And so I just gave it to him. I was like, Bendog, here, have an idol.
Yeah, like there was basically an alliance of I don't know who all, but me and Arceus were in it. It was you, me, Will, and Harrison.
And Harrison, yeah.
Yeah, so like I think I'm not sure who mentioned Gem as the vote. It's either you or Will who started it. I'm not really sure, but Bendog did tell me about Gem's idol a little. He was struggling to tell me that Gem had an idol, but he eventually did. I knew that Gem and Bendog were really close, so obviously I did not want Gem to just go like that without letting Bendog know. So I told him before everything happened that there's a very huge chance that Gem might be the vote here. So if you want, you can tell her to play the idol. And I think he kind of thought that I was just saying it like that and it might not actually happen. So it did actually happen. So if he actually realized that it would actually happen, he probably would have told Gem to play the idol, and things might have turned out differently.
Yeah, Yeah, like that entire tribal period, the four of us, we did not mention Gem as a vote at all. Like they had thrown out Will as a name. The four of us, we kept quiet. I don't think they had any idea. I think if anyone, they thought Bendog was getting votes, maybe. But yeah, we didn't mention Gem in that tribal at all.
Yeah, and that's why we just used the code. Whoever's idea was that was a really genius move. Was it your idea or was it Will's idea? It's one of your ideas. But
I think I might have thrown doing like an emoji code, but Will had the idea to use people's names who have been voted out already.
Yeah, sure.
And we ended up going with Will's code, I think.
Yeah, I think at this point, the reason I wanted Gem personally gone was like I really liked Gem as a person at that point in the game. The only reason was Thomas was really close to Gem and Conrad at that point, and I was really close to Thomas, and I did not like that. And Gem and I, the only reason I didn't mind Gem going is because we were not close on the game level. Like we would talk, everything was chill with us. I really liked talking to her. It was just on a game level, it was obvious that I think I was busy with work at times she was busy, so like we never really got close in the game level. Yeah.
I think we also had like we both needed the same people to be closer to us than the other. So it didn't work.
Yeah, that's fair
both
too.
to have the
That's true.
Same allies. Like
yeah.
That was another part of it. But yeah, that was a big round actually.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So now we start the sausage fest.
Hell.
Ooh, men rule.
And the first one on the chopping block of the sausage fest is apparently the one who was most against the sausage fest. Our good friend here, Arceus.
Yeah, but I got blamed for it anyways.
You got blamed for it? I thought Will got blamed for it.
Oh, I should remember Cameron's questioning, calling me out. It's like that's such a bad read, but okay, go off, King.
Oh my god.
Cameron was a bitter juror. I remember that.
Yeah, he was very good.
Oh yeah, he was pissed.
I remember laughing so hard when his first question to everyone was basically, "I hate Arceus. Why didn't you hate Arceus as much as I did?" I was like, "There's no way."
Yeah, that made no sense. It was he wanted validation.
That honestly is like. I feel like if we weren't considering you for villain, that would have sold it right there and then, because that I've never seen someone's entire FTC questioning just be, "Why did you not hate this guy as much as I did?"
And
It
it's
was
funny because
incredible.
it wasn't even like Arceus was in the final two.
Yeah, I was voted out 2 rounds after him.
It wasn't even like Arceus was in the FTC.
Yeah, that made no sense.
Like, I'd understand it if the person you didn't like would. I mean, I still don't understand it, but I would understand it a bit more if the person he was calling out was one of the finalists. But it wasn't even one of the finalists. Like,
No, it was just one of the fellow jurors.
That's funny.
So yeah, this round was touchy subjects. We did like a live chop variant of it, where you guys like, if you got a question right, you were allowed to like chop someone's robe, kind of thing, like kind of like the actual touchy subjects from the show. In this challenge, Will wins immunity and Arceus is voted out. Would anyone care to recount the thrilling details of this round?
I guess that would be me.
Yeah,
I'm trying to, like,
This is where you really came into your own here.
I'm trying to like remember. I'm trying to like read. Let's see. Is this final 8? Final
Final 7.
Final 7. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think as far as for starters for this challenge, I think Harrison, Will, and me, we have like an alliance from ages ago, and like we kind of agree that Will win or something. I'm not sure. And for the vote, I think Harrison and Will want to go for Bendog, but I want to go for Arceus. And I talked to Bendog about going for Arceus as well. And I said, me and Thomas had a long VC, and I mentioned the same to Thomas as well. So I was like, Arceus needs to go in case he has an idol. He shouldn't go that far with an idol, because the more far you make into the game, like the chances of you playing the idol, that they increase exponentially. So I didn't want him to go far, and I think everyone was on board to do Arceus, I think. And then I think, let's see, Thomas. Oh yeah, I think Thomas wanted to do Harrison at some point.
Yeah.
And then did Thomas get blindsided here? Did he? Let's see. And Tony.
I don't think Thomas was expecting to get votes.
Oh yeah. I think Harrison and Will voted for Thomas.
No,
did
me and Conrad did.
Oh, Harrison. Oh, never mind. Harrison and Will voted with me. What am I saying?
Yeah,
Okay.
Will and Harrison voted for Bendog, and that's when Bendog played the idol.
Okay. Yeah. Yes. Oh, I told Bendog not to play the idol. I remember, but he still played it. I was like, don't play the.
And honestly, Bendog playing the idol should have been my cue to play my idol. But honestly, I had been talking with Thomas before then, and like I'd made it pretty clear, like if I'm gone, like you're gone right after me. So I thought like it made 0 sense for Thomas to vote me out, and that if my name was on the block, Thomas would let me know, but he didn't. So I was like, oh, I don't really know what's going to happen. I ended up voting for Thomas because I did not want to vote for Harrison. And I didn't know Conrad was voting for Thomas. And yeah, I was in VC with Harrison and Will at that point. I had just come back from being out with my now ex. So I wasn't really around that round very much. But what's funny that round is I tried to give my idol to Roan as I was being voted out, but I tagged myself instead of the authors. Because because I knew Roan and I like weren't together, but like genuinely like Roan's one of my favorite people in that game. I really wanted to see him win, and at that point I thought he needed like a big play to win. Obviously he didn't, and it all worked out. But yeah.
Yeah, like me personally, I really
big play.
I really liked Arceus too, like on a personal level. Nothing was personal in any of this. Like I really liked them
like
too.
that's the thing with these games. Like they're really not personal. Like you can work with people you don't like. You can be against people that you do like. Like it's not that deep.
Yeah, I hate it when people make it personal. That's the thing, because that happens a lot sometimes, and it's just
What? Org players getting too emotional? Never heard of that.
Oh boy, I've had my fair share of those.
Crazy concept.
Alrighty. So yeah, Arceus is out. Rowan, you'll be taking over the
game.
Majority of this game.
Yeah. I mean, if we want to just say it. All right, we have moved on to the 8th challenge, Dungeons, and More Dungeons. This was our attempt at trying an individual version of Attack, Defend, Intercept. It did not work.
We've now learned to keep this challenge in the pre-merge.
And keep it to 3 tribes, as we found out in Season 7 as well. So yeah. Dungeons, and More Dungeons, based off of Gravity Falls' parody of Dungeons and Dragons. So yeah, this challenge happens. Ben Dog wins immunity. I believe you and Ben Dog go to rock, paper, scissors as like a tiebreaker for this challenge when it's stalled. And Ben Dog wins that, and then Thomas is voted out. Would you care to recap that?
Yeah. So basically, yeah, like it was pretty obvious that at least for me, I wanted Thomas gone. So Thomas should have listened if he didn't. I'm not really sure, but I wanted Thomas gone right after Arceus. And basically, I think I talked to Conrad and Bendog about throwing 3 votes on Thomas immediately, so that like because Thomas had a safety without power or something, and
Yes,
he told
he
me
did.
about it. Yeah, and I didn't want him to play it, so we decided that like because I think if 3 votes were in immediately, he couldn't play it. So
Yeah.
And then Will proposed the same thing in our alliance with Harrison. So 3 votes got thrown immediately, and he couldn't play it. So, and yeah, I think Thomas and Bendog had a discussion, and basically about like, oh, they will go back to back. But like, I don't think Thomas realized maybe that me and Bendog were close, and Conrad didn't want Bendog to go obviously because they were close. So I think I made a Final Four deal with Conrad and said that I'll go to Final Four with you and Bendog. You don't have to worry about that. Bendog won't go. Bendog won't go. Was this Final 6? Yeah, Bendog won't go in Final 5. You don't have to worry about it. So I think it became an easy. Yeah.
So I actually have a mistake in the notes. I didn't realize this. So I was wrong about the challenge. The challenge is not Dungeons, and More Dungeons. That's actually Final 5. The challenge is like Bailey's Live Puzzle Gauntlet, another returner from Season 1. We apparently had a couple of those. So yeah. Who won that though? I don't know if it's Bendog who won that or.
Wait, what's this challenge?
It's like a live puzzle gauntlet. Basically, you do a puzzle. The first person to complete it gets to eliminate someone.
Maybe Will. I'm not really sure.
I'm going to check to see who won it. Yep, Will won immunity. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep, so Will won immunity this round, not Bendog. I had the thing mixed up. So yeah, tribal's still the same though. So.
Yeah, so that's basically it. Like, I think Thomas was like an easy vote. I think Conrad is worried that Bendog will go right after Thomas, but I just told him that no, I'll make a Final Four deal with you, and I guarantee that Bendog will be in the Final Four. And me and Bendog, we already had the deal that we'll go to Final Four with each other no matter what, ages ago. So it was not even like something new that happened. So yeah.
Okay. So there goes Thomas.
Yeah, and
Rest
just
in peace.
real quick, when Thomas got voted out, like I immediately messaged him to needle him because like I was like, I told you this would happen, but I had been so anti-social players because I had just been voted out of Megavivor 2 at this point because like a social player decided that she wanted to be a strategist and voted me out and then followed me out the door immediately afterwards, and I had been so anti-social players thinking they're strategists that like between Anna and Thomas I was so annoyed, so I just messaged Thomas just to like dig the knife in a little bit.
Yeah, I think Thomas did not expect me to betray him because we were close, but like we were at the point in the game where I don't know.
Yeah.
I think he might have expected me. I don't know to do it, but I really like the fact that he didn't take it personally though. Like he took it really well.
I don't think Thomas knew I had an idol. Did he? Did anyone tell him?
I
That I
did
had an
not. Did I? I don't know. I might. I don't know if I did. I feel like I did not. But
So if he didn't know I had an idol, then I don't think anything prepared him for the moment he went into the jury, and I told him that he almost had an idol from me if only he hadn't flipped his revote.
Rip.
So funny.
He was not ready for that, I don't think.
No. I don't think anyone would be, though, to be fair. Okay, so there goes Thomas. Now, I already explained the challenge, Dungeons and More Dungeons, which led into a rock, paper, scissors tiebreaker where Ben Dog won immunity. I, however, had the wrong tribal as Harrison got voted out this round. So, care to recap that, Rowan?
Yeah, so I was worried that like Ben Dog, because Ben Dog is very like I don't know if you've noticed, but he's very like he can get psychotic. He can get really wild. So I was worried that Ben Dog or Conrad will approach Will and like leak the final 4 deal I made with them. So I just told Will right out of the bat. We had like a long VC. I told him I made a final 4 deal with them, so Harrison could be an option, and he didn't like that. And Will really wanted Ben Dog out. So I was like, if Ben Dog wins immunity, Harrison can go. And if Harrison wins immunity, Ben Dog can go. So let me see. What did I write? Yeah, I think I basically voted for Harrison, and I think Will knew that I was voting for Harrison. I just told him out of the like, who won Final 5? Immunity Ben Dog, right?
Yes, Ben Dog won immunity after the
tiebreaker. That was basically it all worked in my favor. I think Will just voted wrong on purpose. I think he knew Harrison was the vote. He's one to be loyal, so yeah. That's all. There's a pretty clear Harrison vote. I think basically Conrad and Ben Dog were going Harrison. Will and Harrison wanted to do Ben Dog, but he was immune. Who got votes there besides Harrison?
Let's go see.
Was it Conrad?
Going to look. Besides Harrison, Conrad. Yeah, Conrad got 2 votes.
Yeah. Yep. I think I would basically say I was like in the middle at that point. I was really happy though that me, Harrison, and Will made it all the way that far because we were like an alliance since eternity, and somehow it worked. So.
Okay. Now we get to final immunity, the famous peanut logic puzzle mixed with season trivia this season. If I remember correctly, this is how this goes. Because I was going through and I was a little confused and then I kind of remembered. Yes. So, Rowan wins immunity this round. But you and Ben Dog have a little plan. Do you care to recap that?
Yeah, so this plan was like from ages ago. So we made a deal that like if either of us wins immunity, we will just give it away. And we'll go in fire making because I wanted him to win if I was not at the end. He wanted me to win if I was not at the end, and we were basically locked jury votes for each other, depending on who goes. So I just gave away my immunity to him. Not him. I gave him my immunity to Will. I mean, sorry. And I had to like I had to kind of make sure that like it went to power making. That was kind of tricky. I don't remember the details though. And yeah, it was a very fair fire making because like it didn't really depend on our skill that much. Like the jury code thing, I was very glad was that. So yeah, he ended up going and he took it really well. So yeah, that's basically.
Yeah. I know Preston has told me he loves what I said about this this vote for some reason. I think I said like you played well, but it's over.
You played well, but it's over.
It's over. So yeah, Ben Dog is now the final juror, and now we've hit FTC. Do you care to recount your FTC experience?
Should I be honest?
I mean, that's kind of the point of this podcast. If you
Okay, so I'll be honest. So let's start. So I've been in FTCs before, so it wasn't new to me. I think in general, I don't think I'm the best in FTCs in terms of like, convincing juries, like, I'm like, it is I think my speech is very like objective and very like neutral-ish. I noticed that Will is very like, what's the word? He's very like passionate about his speech, which is not how I was. Which I didn't mind. I really like Will. So in terms of experience, in terms of jurors, like coming in, I was like, I would say one person, it was pretty obvious they did not read my speech. And they asked me questions from my speech, like 2 or 3 questions from my speech. So I was like, okay, it's pretty obvious from the looks of it that I might not get your votes. And I did not get her vote. So I was like, sure. Arceus, I was actually expecting Arceus's vote.
You lost my vote. I was in the jury, fully saying I'm pretty much a locked vote for Roan. I loved your game. I thought you were the best player. You lost my vote with your answer to my question.
Your question is why, right?
Yeah, because I wanted it to be, especially with like I don't want to waste the jurors' time or the finalists' time. A lot of people are asking a lot of questions. I just want to do something that's a bit open-ended. I wanted to see how you guys would approach it. Because why? It could be any aspect of your game. I'm a little bit of a narcissist, so I was going to see if you guys were going to be like, why did I vote you out? Why were you so important in my game? Like, take it any way you want. You just copy and pasted from your speech.
No,
and
so
Will gave like an actual answer.
No, his answer, like to be completely frank, like his answer is really good. It was more like a personal thing, right? Yeah. My answer was more of a game thing, and I wasn't sure how to answer that because it was very open-ended, like you said. So in my eyes, it's fair. It's at the end of the day, you're a juror, so it's your decision. Me personally, it was more like, because I've played a game for so many days, assuming it was 30-something days, I think. And you've known me and we've talked, and I assume you didn't connect with Will that much. So my basis was like, are you going to base your whole vote based on one question? Especially if what you said is true, that you went to the jury and you said my game was good. Like,
it wasn't just based on that one question. So Will and I, we did connect a lot after Ben Dog idled him. We spoke a lot. Okay. But also, you didn't star my response to Cameron, and Will did. So that just locked it.
So, okay, what the Okay, fair enough. But yeah, your personality is different. My personality is different. Like, there's no need for conflict here. So I respect what you did. So I'm just putting out my perspective. Yeah. So that's
And honestly, I didn't think it would be that close. Like, I did not think we would need Conrad as a tiebreaker. I thought you had won the game. And as a finalist, as a juror, like, I don't always vote for the winner. I'll vote for, a friend or someone who answered my question the right way. Or if I think someone deserves, second over third, I'll throw a vote their way. I expected you to win outright.
Yeah, that's fair. Fair enough. Yeah.
I thought you were a great winner. I think I voted for Conrad. I forget who I voted for. Wait, I can fucking look. Why am I...
This voting chart is wrong, I just noticed. I'm going to have to talk to Pina about that. It's whatever. It's been like 8 months and I never noticed. But he never like reordered the final four. So right now it shows Bendog as having not voted at FTC despite the fact that he was there, and Rowan casting the tie-breaking winning vote for himself.
L.
Rigged.
So
Yes,
Yeah.
I did vote for Conrad. Yeah, I think that was just an ally vote. I think Rowan, we did like. I think when I realized what side you kind of fell on, I was like, oh, we weren't like. I'm a very loyalty-based player and voter, so realizing where more of the loyalty was in the game from who was in FTC for me was where my vote went.
Yeah, that's fair. Conrad did play a very loyal game, so no one can take that away from him. He's the hero of the season after all. So
I remember like early on in the jury, we had like a very anti-Arceus sentiment. I remember there was a very pro-Conrad sentiment as well.
Yeah.
With the jury. I remember that specifically.
I actually did not expect a vote from Anna, but like I'm like happy she did. I didn't expect a vote from her though. So that was nice. Yeah.
So
glad,
ultimate. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Go.
Oh yeah, no, that's it. Yeah, and I'm glad Thomas voted for me too. So that's all. I just want to say thank you. That's all.
All right. Well, ultimately, both you and Will tied with a 4-4-2. And Conrad just casted the deciding vote, naming you as the winner of the season. Congratulations.
It's a very delayed congratulations.
8 months later.
Thank you.
So yeah, that happens. So yeah, that's the season. What'd you guys think? How was the season for you?
I personally loved it. Like I was working during the season, and my family came over in the middle of the season after like 2 years, and despite all of that, I was actually able to like talk to people, and like it all worked out. Like it was still fun. I don't think I was dead. It was like it somehow all worked out. So it was really fun for me. The only thing is like every season is probably gonna have like an inactive person or two or someone with circumstances, so that was normal. So I was like okay with it. So people were nice, everything was chill. Could it have been better? Yes, but like any other season can be better. So yeah.
I mean, it's still by far not our worst season. So
yeah,
I love how I think I've said that in every podcast so far that we filmed, that you can't get worse than season 3. But yeah, I think that about wraps us up here. Thank you guys for joining me. And shout out Emma. She had to leave a little early, so thank you to Emma for joining me for as long as she could.
Thanks to both of you for hosting this.
Yeah, this was cool.
Yeah, thank you.
Of course. And yeah, bye.
Bye.
Take care, everyone.
Yeah.